Welcome to class number 13 of the Leaving Cert Ordinary Level Algebra course, where you are now going to look at more difficult simultaneous equations. Two numbers add to give 4. Call the numbers x and y. This can be written as x plus y equals 4. When you add their squares, you get 10. This can be written as x squared plus y squared equals 10. Can you guess two numbers that work? 3 and 1 work. If you add them, you get 4. If you square them and add them, you get 10. You should be able to see that in this case, the order of the numbers does not matter. So x could be 3 and y could be 1. If you add 3 and 1, you get 4. And if you add it, 3 squared to 1 squared, you get 10. You need a technique to solve these equations. The first equation is a linear equation. The second equation is a quadratic equation. Here are the 3 steps needed to solve simultaneous equations involving a linear and quadratic equation. Example 1. Solve for x and y. The first equation is the linear and the second the quadratic. Step 1. Get x on its own in the linear. Replace x in the quadratic by 4 minus y. Four minus y all squared is 4 minus y multiplied by itself. Multiply out the brackets. Bring everything to the left-hand side to form a quadratic. Divide across by 2 to simplify the quadratic. Factorize the quadratic in the normal way. The factors are y minus 1 times y minus 3. Put each bracket equal to 0 and solve for y, giving solutions of y is equal to 1, and y is equal to 3. Step 3. Substitute these values of y back into the linear equation. Replace y by 1 to get x is equal to 3. Replace y by 3 to get x is equal to 1. There are 2 pairs of answers. When y equals 1, x equals 3. This is sometimes written in a bracket as 3, 1, with the x value coming first, followed by the y value. The other answer is y equals 3 and x equals 1. Example 2. Solve for x and y. The first equation is the linear and the second the quadratic, because it contains an xy term. Step 1. Get x on its own in the linear equation. You can see it is easier than getting y on its own. Step 2. Substitute this value of x into the quadratic. Multiply out the bracket. Tidy up to form a quadratic. Divide across by 2. Factorize the quadratic in the usual way. The factors of the quadratic are y minus 1 times y minus 4. Put each bracket equal to 0 and solve for y, giving y equals 1 and y equals 4. Step 3. Substitute these values for y back into the linear equation. Firstly, replace y by 1 to get x equals minus 1. And then replace y by 4 to get x equals 5. There are two pairs of answers. When y equals 1, x equals minus 1. This is sometimes written in a bracket as minus 1, 1, with the x value coming first, followed by the y value. The other answer is y equals 4 and x equals 5. That's the end of the class. Have a look at the demonstration examples, and when you think you are ready, do the exercise worksheet.